Right, afternoon, Gavin.
Afternoon.
I want to ask you, how long have you been at the club now?
I came to the club initially at the start of the 2007 season. Unfortunately, I had a brief stint away from the club for maybe 6 months, but all told, I've been there since that time now.
Also, what changes have you seen at the club in that time?
I've seen huge changes, really. When I first took over, we were in Division 2 at the time. Thankfully, we were able to put together a decent squad of players and achieve promotion at the first attempt. And since then, I'd like to think that we've solidified our position within Welsh League Division 1 and certainly placed a lot more respect back into the club, you know.
Yeah.
The greatest sort of growth, I suppose, on the field, we've got a fantastic player sort of cohort at the moment that can achieve great things if given the opportunity. And that's obviously seen a huge growth area. But the other part is the role of the supporters, and they've been absolutely magnificent since I've come to the club and have continued to step up to the plate in adversity.
So as the manager, how do you think the supporters committee have run the club?
I couldn't have asked for any more in terms of support, in terms of guidance, in terms of a working relationship. Admittedly, I'm an active part of helping them and working with them, but also I have to have the football club head on as well, you know, to make sure that we continue to push forward on the field. But as a group of people, they can certainly hold their head held, you know, high on what we've achieved over the last few years and what we'll hopefully continue to achieve. They've
done a good job then, have they?
Oh, absolutely magnificent. If you just look at some of the events over recent years, you know, our Community Action Day, where we give free entry into the local community, some of the groups associated in or around Barry that we've tried to engage with, the Cardiff City Friendly that we delivered on, and we've seen a magnificent turnout from the local community and indeed Cardiff City supporters alike. But also just trying to place ourselves back in the heart of the community. Barry's a magnificent football club and has achieved some wonderful, wonderful things. But I do think under previous regimes at times, due to the monies that were being paid into the club, that we almost lost our soul, which was part of the community. And I'm pleased to say that under the current regime, we're certainly trying to place ourselves back in those hearts, you know.
How long has the supporters committee actually been running the club?
I think the supporters committee, I suppose, have been active since around 2009.
Right.
But in terms of running the club and paying the bills for all the football side of things, I'd probably say that's around maybe 18 months to 2 years now.
Fair enough. How do you feel about what Mr. Lovering is trying to do to Barry Town at the moment?
It's a difficult situation, if I'm being honest, because, you know, this club is very much in my heart and it's in the heart of my players. I can see that every time they take the field of play. I must look back and when Stuart stepped into the club back in 2003, that he was good enough to do that at the time.
Yeah.
And who would have known, you know, who knows basically what would have happened if he hadn't. But at this stage, I think that it's right that, you know, football at our level is a community-based approach rather than a limited company. I'm disappointed in the way things have turned out. I feel at the moment the supporters committee, we've paid every bill on time.
Yeah. We
don't owe a penny to anyone. We'd like to think that we're building friends and relationships all over the place, and there's only one way that we're hopefully going, and that's it. But unfortunately, and this is no slight on Stuart himself,
no,
he is in control of the club. We will not be able to achieve our full potential.
Has he told you why he's refusing the bid?
Not necessarily. He just feels that the amount offered is well below what he feels the club is worth. Now, it's important for me to differentiate between the social club and the football side of things. What we're trying to do is split the business, whereby the football side of things, i.e. the football team, all associate memorabilia, the youth teams, and indeed our place within the Welsh FA membership, is purchased by the supporters committee, and this will allow the current owner and chairman Stuart Lovering to maintain his interests in the social side of the business.
So he can keep the social club running and the supporters can carry on with the football?
That's right, yeah. Our interest is in the football. Long term, we would love to, absolutely love to have one as being one entity. But in all reality, we're a million miles away from being able to afford that at the current prices being quoted.
Has Mr. Lovering given you a price then? What value does he place on the club and its property?
I think that at the moment Stuart's looking for 250,000 for the both entities.
For both?
Yeah.
Is he not willing to split at the minute?
I think he would like to split. I think, if I'm being honest here, I think Stuart actually sees that as being long-term in the best interests of football in Barry. How we go about that split, and indeed the prices quoted, is the deciding factor, I think.
It's almost doubled in value, hasn't it, since he tried to sell up last year? Have you got any idea why that might be?
I'm not too sure the exact prices of what have been quoted previously, if I'm being totally honest with you. All I know is that Stuart obviously places a value on the club, and ultimately it's only ever going to be worth what someone is willing to pay.
That's fair enough. What do you put the current success of the team down to?
The players. Absolutely magnificent group of people who go above and beyond, and basically deliver on everything I ask. I'm really fortunate, really. Yes, it's tough. It's a tough situation. Yes, it's very challenging, but it's still a great club. I'm still working with great players, and the relationship between the supporters committee and the players is second to none, and I seriously hope that'll continue.
Would it be a dream come true if the bid was successful?
No, undoubtedly. You know, we feel that by taking over the running of the football side of the business, that we can really start to, you know, investigate the true potential of this club. We have great plans to develop our academy structure and indeed enhance the quality of coaching in and around Barry and the Vale. And we feel that Barry can play an important part in that. You know, similarly, the long-term dream is to get to the dizzy heights that have been achieved before. Now, in all reality, that's a long way off, but I genuinely feel that with our current player cohort, if we can stay together and if we can continue to work hard, that is not an unachievable dream.
Could it happen?
Fingers crossed it will. I know the supporters are working extremely hard on everything at the moment. The bid that was placed, obviously I'm not in a position to comment on exact figures, but you know, it was literally, it wasn't an opening bid, it was literally, you know, everything that we have. So I think we need to go back to the drawing table now and have a look at how we move forward, as he has rejected that offer out of hand.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Not really. I just want to say thanks for everyone really, what they've done so far. We'll continue to do our best both on and off the field. Some of the things that will go on might be out of our hands, but the one thing that we can control is what happens on Friday night in our next game, and for me as a football person at the moment, that has to be my priority.
Well, we've been following you very closely this season. Very impressed with Barry's form.
Very impressed.
Yeah, thanks ever so much, guys.
Realistic chance of promotion?
I think promotion at this stage, if I'm being totally honest, is going to be difficult. The main reason being, to achieve promotion to the Welsh Premier League, you need to obtain a domestic licence. And for that to happen, I think we're way off that at the moment. But I think I'd take pride in our players just being competitive and hitting their potential and see where that takes us.
Fair enough.
Okay, thank you, Gavin, for appearing on the show this afternoon.
Likewise, thanks ever so much for your support, guys. And,
you're welcome.
Speak to you soon.